Hello and welcome back to 10 Minutes of Astrology. I know it's been a minute. I'm going to continue on the Jupiter series. Press all of the buttons. And I'm doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers of a four leaf clover bookmark. This one specifically, if you're interested, you should press more buttons. Jupiter in Cancer between 2037 and 2038. Let's go. So Jupiter enters into Cancer approximately May 24th of 2037. And then shortly after, Saturn goes into Virgo approximately July of 2037, that same period. Now, there's not a whole lot that happens with Jupiter in Cancer for quite a while. This time period really isn't about that. It's more about different moving parts and things coming together and like arranging themselves outside of this. So, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, it's luck, it is prosperity and happiness. Jupiter is probably, when it comes to like worldwide, pump up encouragement, being, education oriented, especially the higher education, college. So that's what Jupiter's about. Jupiter is not comfortable in Cancer. Cancer in the zodiac is the crab. It's the first water sign of the zodiac. So it's the first experience of emotions. So people that have a lot of Cancer dominant traits may have or may struggle with a lot of emotional regulation. And between these two, it is relearning how to educate yourself, like educating yourself again for the very first time. It is, luck with the mother, because Cancer is about motherhood and nurturing and, your motherland, Mother Earth, which is not really about Earth. It's more of your emotional connection. With Jupiter, Jupiter is also about large scale communications like public speaking. So there may be more things to come up on a larger scale about, motherhoods. I know right now we are having a quote unquote birth rate crisis, which completely just I don't personally care about at all. Like, I don't think that currently in 2025 we should um, be concerned about that, because there's so many other concerns. But that is definitely going to be like a highlight of the world in during that phase. Now, because Jupiter goes so long without any real direct connections, it is a great time to go into your shell and do that self reflection stuff. And this is like deep emotional healing work that will need to be done. And you need to be excited about it because Jupiter is lucky. Now, this is not the place for Jupiter to be in. However, make the best of what you have. Now, when Jupiter hits the 19-degree mark, that's going to be its pre retrograde shadow during this time. And then after it gets into that shadow is when we really see stuff coming up and happening, and like one thing after another after another. So, one of the first things that happens is at approximately 21 degrees, Uranus, I know that's nothing to do with Jupiter, but Uranus in Cancer in conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius, and then soon to follow, Jupiter joins that in conjunction at the 21-degree mark. So if you have things in these degrees, just be mindful and look out as to how it affects you. If you need a personalized reading, I absolutely will do those. What does all of that mean? Well, Uranus isn't comfortable in Cancer. Pluto isn't comfortable in Aquarius. Jupiter is like, all of these things are already uncomfortable. And then an in conjunction add on top of that is more uncomfortability, more irritant, more things that just aren't, it's just not working. It's not, now Jupiter and Uranus conjunct in Cancer is like big creative expansion in the home. It's potentially really exciting building projects or different water projects. So we may see like water distribution or water plants or something going on with them that are like in need of an upgrade. So those two together where they are is not necessarily a bad thing. It just isn't comfortable there. It's going to be changes, especially rapid changes with your emotions, water based things. So, any kind of plumbing, all of that kind of stuff. Now, in conjunct to Pluto in Aquarius, well, Pluto is also about change and transformation, much like Uranus. Uranus is more of on the creative path, but Pluto is like deep-seated transformation. Well, that's an Aquarius, and Aquarius is, the socialization. So we're changing socialization, and it's got to do with water. So it may be like the water companies are trying to do something, but there's some sort of social thing that's coming in the way. Then Jupiter is also going to be conjunct Uranus between like 21 and 23 degrees during this time while it's in conjunct. And that is like it's a sticking point. Then we go into Jupiter semi-sextiling Chiron in Gemini at approximately 25 to 26 degrees. Now, this is around September of 2037. So what does that mean? Well, a semi-sextile is a learning teaching moment. Jupiter is in the teaching position and Chiron is in the learning position. So Chiron in Gemini is healing the imbalance because Gemini is kind of all sides and everywhere, and Chiron is like deep healing, especially healing other people with things that you can't heal for you. So that's going to be like the back and forth. And Jupiter in Cancer is like, hey, I know we're making a big emotional thing of this, and maybe you should be more passionate about something, whatever that is in your life. Maybe passionate about your health. Stop changing your mind. Make your decision based off of your emotional intuition. Then we have Jupiter square Neptune in Aries, which is retrograde, approximately 27 degrees that October in 2037. So squares are the hardest aspect. It's just, if you can imagine the hardest thing, that's a square. So Jupiter in Cancer, already emotionally uncomfortable, squaring Neptune in Aries. Neptune is the ethereal, it's the spiritual, and in Aries, it's a fire sign. It's passion, it's first, it's selfishness, it's, me, it's ego. And so those square one another is big spiritual fallout. And it's going to hit in a very emotionally hard place, potentially more to do with war because Aries is very war-centered. So there's some sort of warring, emotional, high-intensity kind of head that's going to happen. Then Jupiter stations retrograde at 29 degrees. So if there's any degree to station retrograde, 29 degrees is it, because 29 degrees is the pentacle. It's where you want your planets to be. It's where you want things to be. So it going retrograde there, I guess if it's going to do it anywhere, that's the place. So it's not a bad thing that it goes retrograde. We just will have to revisit some lessons, which we definitely will. So now we're out of the pre-retrograde shadow and we're in retrograde. So again, we square Neptune. So it's another big emotional, spiritual blow up of just chaos. Then Jupiter, again, in conjuncts Pluto at 22 degrees. Simultaneously, it's still conjunct Uranus between 21 and 20 degrees, because again, this is going backwards. Retrograde means that it appears that the planet is moving in reverse. Then, all of this at the same time, Chiron is retrograde in Gemini, and then it goes direct around the 20-degree mark, but all of those lessons are still coming back to be learned. Then Jupiter goes direct at around the 19-degree mark. And again, we are conjunct Uranus. This time we have a square to Lilith in Aries at approximately 20 degrees around April 2038. So I don't talk much about Lilith because I haven't done a whole lot of videos and I'm over my 10-minute limit. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly wrap this up. Again, semi-sextile Chiron in Gemini, and all of the Lilith is going to go between 20 and 24 degrees. Again, we have another in conjunction to Pluto. Then Neptune goes into Taurus around May 23rd, 2038 approximately, depends on where you live and the divine timing. And then Jupiter goes into Leo approximately June 2038, which immediately squares Neptune in Taurus, which is a whole other debacle. That's at 0 degrees, which I can get into when I talk about my Jupiter in Leo video when I, get that out. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to press all the buttons. Please be a good human. I love you very much. Peace out, fam.